Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Hope every single one of you had a good weekend. We're gonna get started for the same 1-2 action. I had a pretty good weekend. We're up about 1,000 on Natural 8. On ACR, we're up around 1,400. That was including the Friday session. Play, I think, an hour or something, like 11,000 hands in on Saturday, and then was up like 2 buy-in, almost 3 buy-ins, so pretty good. Here, facing two players, we can see a flop with 2-4 suited in the blind. Hopefully that trend continues. Here we do have a C-bet, half sizing. Just gonna go for a. Actually, we're gonna go for a check raise here. It's a flush draw and some straight draw out there. Gonna start our tracker. Okay, Queen 7 off. Definitely a fold. Queen Jack off, just gonna open. Here we're defending with 9-7 suited against an unknown player. Don't see any reason to bluff this turn. Hits his raising range quite good, and we're just gonna give up this pot. Just gonna fold. Here, raising with King's 9 suited, middle position. Here we probably defending with Queen 9 suited. Facing a 3-bet, we just fold. King 9 suited is not good enough to play out of position and 3-bet pot. And here we're just gonna give it to him for now. Opening with 8s, opening with Ace Queen. Here we're defending King Jack off. We do get a 3-bet. That's okay. Just gonna call and play out of position. Totally fine. Don't see a reason to put in a 4-bet and put our pocket 8s into a bluff. On this turn our pocket 8s into a bluff doesn't really make sense. Here we're actually gonna bet the turn. And we're gonna call and play a flop. Here, flop a gasha, just gonna check. He does check. I believe he has something like King Queen, Queen Jack, those type of hands. I don't see him folding that much after he called the turn. He has to have like a queen here. With the gasha, we probably just fold. With somebody still to act behind, folding is fine. Here with 1 overcard, and we do have a diamond, so just gonna check call this one. Probably check calling again, since it's blind versus blind. And we do get there on the river, but there's no reason to bet 8 of diamond for value, I think. I just don't see him calling after checking the turn. If he had like a jack or something, he's probably gonna bet. We do suck out, that is good. Ace Jack suited facing unknown players 3-bet. 4-betting is okay, but I would rather see a flop against a unknown. Looks like a recreational player. Obviously we flop nothing. Just gonna give up. We're not gonna try to play anything cute against a recreational player. Here facing a 3-bet from a pretty tight player, seems like. Just gonna flat pocket 9s in position and then play. Jack 3 suited, okay to defend, but folding is fine as well. And here with 1 overcard, we're definitely continuing. Here we're just gonna put in a 3-bet with Ace Jack off, facing a button open. Gonna open here. He does use a larger sizing, but that's still not gonna be enough for us to fold on the flop. Deuce is not a bad turn. Probably calling again and then folding to a river. Folding to a river bet. If he check it to us, we're gonna do some protection bet. He barrel pot. He can be doing this with ace king. Since he only 3-bet 3% the time, I'm actually gonna give him credit for real hand. Since he used its large sizing, we don't really be much except a bluff. And then if he's bluffing, he has like overcards and flush draw a lot, so it's better to just fold. Here we flop second pair, gonna start with a small c bet. He does call. On this turn, I think we can barrel again. Just gonna barrel for value. 5 does complete 7-9. Yeah, just gonna barrel. He can still have a lot of 8s. We obviously river trips. He can obviously have some busted flush draw, but we do have those as well. So I think we can go for an overbet here, and we can wrap a busted flush draw. Hopefully he call us with the king. He does instant call with king queen, and we do get the maximum value. Here on this flop, since he checked it to us, we're just gonna bet out with the aces up. Don't see a reason to check behind there because he does have a lot of kings and jack. That's gonna have a gut shot. Taiwan number Runo. Thanks for the good luck. Definitely need it. We actually been on a 4-session winning streak, up about 2,500 in the past 4 sessions. So things have been a little better in August. Definitely not as horrible comparing to July. But still could run better. We still got tons of suck out. Even we have been having winning session, but still had tons of suck out. Definitely could get a little better. 4-5 suited opening is a little bit loose, but once in a while it's fine. Here on this board, we're just gonna check back. Here on this board, we're checking back with bottom pair, and we do have 2 pair, but heart does get there. And here, when he checked the second time, we're gonna start betting. Hopefully, he's gonna fold. And we do pick up the pot. Jack 10 suited facing a button open, definitely gonna start with a 3-bet. Here on the turn, we can value bet a little bit, or we can check and then call his river bet. Either way works. I think we just go for a check and then call him down the river. Just give him a chance to bluff, because when we bluff the turn, we don't really wrap much. He does river a better 2 pair, but it's okay. We do face a 4-bet by the button. Obviously he can be bluffing here, but we just don't have a hand that can have much fight against that. So we're just gonna give it to him. Ace King opening under the gun. Blind versus blind against an unknown player. Not unknown, but like somebody we don't have that much history with. Standard open. Have no problem with it. Not the greatest flop for Ace King. This flop hits his big blind calling range quite often. Gonna go for a check back here actually. Here on this board, I just don't see his folding too much, even though he's kind of loose. Actually, we're gonna go for a bet because he's super loose, and then we do just pick up the pot. Turn, we pick up a gut shot. Still don't see any reason to bet. He has a lot of gut shot that just paired up with the 10 on the turn, so we're just gonna check back. And hopefully he check again, and ace high might be the best hand. I don't see him checking with the worst though. Not gonna defend with ace 9 off against a pretty tight player. We do just gonna check back. does have a pair 6, so nice hand. Under the gun raise, just gonna 3-bet with pocket nice. Folding here sometimes too, but mostly it's a 3-bet. We have second pair. Just gonna c-bet this board using a larger sizing because he does have a lot of open-ended and got shot. And we do just pick up the pot. Ace queen off, gonna open. King jack off facing under the gun raise, we're just gonna muck. Defending with king 7 suited. I think on this board we're check calling a lot. We took backdoor flush draw. On this board, I think we're checking back. This is a really bad card for our range, so just gonna check and give up. Here on this board, we're checking behind. I think we can call once if he bet. He does have some king queen. When he's using an overbet sizing, I just don't see that he has a bluff. I mean, even if it's a bluff, we just have ace high, so I'm just gonna give it to him. Hello, bet for bluff. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, Latron? Hopefully you're not here to take my money, man. But enjoy the stream. Hopefully you don't string snipe me. I did change it to 5 minutes delay, so it's gonna be tougher. Ace queen suited, obviously opening under the gun. I did make a video on YouTube about our July progress, and basically it is our July graphs. How did we do in July, and reviewing some interesting hands. I'll say like 10, 11 hands. Feel free to check it out on my YouTube channel, and feel free to shoot a sub. Because I do need 100 subs on YouTube in order to have the customized website, not website, but customized YouTube channel link, I think. So definitely go to YouTube, shoot me a subscribe. Really appreciate it. Under the gun raise and cutoff 3-bet 7s, we're just gonna mark. And here we raise under the gun. He 3-bet us, and then we do flop top here, top kicker. Gonna put in a raise here. I don't see a reason to just check call this. He can be doing this with some king queen, but I'd rather just pick up the pot. Don't mind that. If he continues, he has tons of aces and kings. Thank you, Latron. Good luck to you too, man. Try not to take my money, buddy. Pocket 7 facing a button open, definitely gonna 3-bet and punish him. Crack and Barrel, thanks for coming back again. Thank you for spreading your knowledge. Hopefully you have a good weekend. Good luck tonight. Thank you so much. I need it really, really badly. King Queen suited. Gonna put in a 3-bet against under the gun raise. This is not by default. Sometimes we're folding. At the end of this stream, if you guys don't mind, I probably will play my YouTube video, and then that way you guys can get to see what happened in July. That's actually a video I recorded earlier today. Basically going over our July graphs, what happened to us, etc. And then go over some interesting hands and breaking it down. Here facing a 4-bet. This is a kind of awkward situation. Here we just went over card. We're gonna c-bet, and here we're folding because this guy has pretty short stack. Pretty sure he's gonna call, and we're just gonna fold and then see what happens. Here we get the 3-bet by button. Just gonna flat. 4-betting nice here doesn't really make too much sense. We're basically turning nice into bluff, and this guy's going nuts with king deuce suited, calling. 3-bet, and then around the gun raise, and then facing a 3-bet in front of him, and then he just decided to flat with king deuce suited in the blinds. That was really, really bad, and obviously he got squeezed on. See, that's the thing about 3-betting. Like, it's like you might think 3-betting, you're putting money in, and then you're afraid of losing money, but we'll check calling once. But sometimes, like in that case, if we we 3-bet with king queen suited, and then if you put in 4-bet, we can easily just fold, right? Versus if we just flat call, and then the flop comes like king XX, and then we'll lose more money potentially. Might lose like half stack that way. So 3-betting sometimes saves you money. Here he checked behind. I think we're gonna bet this river. Not because I think we have the best hand, but because we have when he checked the turn, he has less aces, and then we have all the aces in our range, so we just want to bet. So pocket jacks and pocket queens might potentially fold this bet. I don't think we have the best hand. Even if we have the best hand, we can still do this bet, and then he's just gonna muck. But in case he have like king queen, or in case he has like pocket jacks, pocket 10, or pocket queens, there's a chance that he might fold to this bet, and then that's a huge win for us. That's a reason for this bet. I don't think we have the best hand here. I feel like he has jacks and queens or something like that. Here we're just gonna muck sevens, and it does work. You might feel like we're kind of weird. Why did we turn our pocket nines into bluffs? It's because like the reason I just gave you guys, the way the hand play out, it just seemed like he has tons of jacks, queens, and tens, and those hand we don't beat, right? So if we just check, and then he's just gonna check behind and win the pot. So instead of doing that, we just basically bluff the river because we have tons of ace queen, tons of ace jack in our range that's gonna value bet the river, and we just play the same way. And then if he fold like jacks, queens, and tens there versus our pocket nine where we're drawing that, then it is such a big win for us. Here we're just gonna see bet on a board that benefit us. Here we're facing a 3-bet blind versus blind. I think we're gonna defend with king jack. Blind versus blind, I think it is okay. Pretty good flop for us. Definitely check calling here. And here we turn a open-ended straight draw. We can barrel here. We can check behind. Probably just gonna go for the barrel in case he has a flush draw. He's just gonna fold, and we check calling this flop. And the turn is not the greatest. He has tons of king queen, tons of ace queen, and diamond also gets there. I don't think he has too much 10-9, but it's possibility that he has a 10-9 suited as well. He does check behind, and we do get there on the river after we overbet, but flush does get there. I'm not sure if he had a flush a ton here, because if he had a flush, I think he's folding the turn bet since we overbet the turn. So I'm gonna put him on like an ace and then go for a value bet. I think ace would probably call like 30. Let's go for 30, and obviously we are folding to a check raise. I just don't see him playing a flush draw this way because we bombed the turn, we overbet the turn, and then if he had just a flush draw, he should fold the turn. And then we do have some higher flushes as well, so if he had like a baby flush, it's very hard for him to check raise this river. More likely he has an ace. He does have an ace, and then unfortunately he has ace 5, so he does have a straight as well. But don't really mind. He does took some like 30 seconds to think about it, because we had all the flushes there as well. Combo flush draw on the turn, combo straight draw, you know, flush draw, straight draw on the turn. So he actually took him, even though he had a straight there, he still took him like 30 seconds to make the call. I think we bugged out here. What happened? I'm not exactly sure. Probably gonna close it close this table if it just continues stuck here. Calling, defending with Queen Jack suited. Flat bottom pair. We do have a gotcha and backdoor flush draw, so probably check calling once. Yeah, I think this table just bugged out. And we're checking this. Just gonna open another table. Something's wrong with that table. And then he does bet the river. When he bet the river, I feel like he has tons of kings. Maybe he get there with the backdoor flush, but he's not checking the turn and then betting the river with an ace. I just don't see that, so he must have a king or some kind of flush. We don't be any of that, so we're just gonna mock. Jack 10 off, blind versus blind in position. Obviously, we're seeing a flop. Don't mind to mixing a 3-bet every now and then, but don't really have to. This table is buggy too. I'm not sure exactly what's going on today. It feels like the table has been pretty buggy, like this, just kind of weird. Hopefully it doesn't happen when we have aces. That would really suck and it would be pretty tilting. ACR sometimes has this problem. Very rarely though, they normally fix it quite quickly. Uh, 5-6 suited in small blind, just not a good card to call and play against under the gun raising range. Opening with 10-6 suited, it's kind of loose, but it is okay. Here facing a 3-bet from the small blind, we're just gonna put in a small 4-bet. Obviously this is a 4-bet bluff, so if he jam, we're folding. But against small blind 3-bet range, I think he's folding a lot, and then we do block aces and ace king. We haven't 4-bet this session, so hopefully we get some credit. He does fold. On this board, we're just gonna use a actually small c-bet is fine. Here on this board, we flop a 1 overcard. Gonna do a larger sizing c-bet against 2 players. Under the gun raise, I'm just gonna put in a 3-bet ace queen off. I'm putting a 3-bet here with 10 ace suited. It's a little bit loose, but I don't mind that. As long as you are not doing this like all the time, it should be fine. You just have to balance your 3-betting range. Like we have not been getting too many strong hands, so it's always good to be mixing a little bit. However, we do face a 4-bet. Just gonna give it to him. It's fine. Ace 10 off, facing mid position open, mostly folding. On this board, we're just gonna use a small c-bet. On this turn, I don't see a reason to barrel. He either have a queen or he had a 7, or he had like a better pocket pair. I just don't see why we should bet this turn. Defending with 10-9 suited. This guy seemed like pretty bad and pretty loose. Gonna give him a fish tag. He does have tons of money, so that's very good for us. And we're just gonna check back here. Yeah, he does have pocket 10s, nice hand. Check raising is okay. He doesn't see bad that much. We're just gonna check call here. And club does get there on the turn, and then this is one of the worst turn. Ace-9 suited here, gonna throw in 3-bet. And he does bet out again. He could have like Ace-King, Ace-Queen with the Ace of Club or something. So we're not folding yet, I think. Gonna call one more time. And then probably check folding the river. Here on this board, gonna start with a small C-bet. He has Ace-10, nice hand. Blind versus blind facing a 4-bet with Ace-King suited, I think it's mandatory to see a flop. Just jamming is okay as well, but I'm not sure if any worse hand's gonna call. Here, we're just gonna barrel the turn. And we're gonna see a flop. Jamming is obviously okay, but seeing a flop is probably better. I don't see much worse calling the. I don't see much worse calling the jam. Here we're just gonna range betting, and here he called twice. Just gonna check the river. Club does get there. I think we're getting a check back very often. He probably has a better ace. We don't flop anything. Just gonna give it to him. Here we do get called, and then turn bets. I think his range is pretty strong. So we're just gonna check back here. And here facing a river jam is a pretty easy fold. Trying to think what he has. Maybe like I don't know, like flush draw or something. It's very hard to like we don't really beat much here. I don't think he's doing this with like Ace Jack, Ace Queen. But there's not that many bluffs. All the bluffs get there, so it sucks. It's unfortunate that we probably had to fold here. I'm not even sure if we. I just can't find like a bluffing combination. So we're just gonna fold. Since we barreled the turn pretty heavily, just don't see him betting with worse there on the river. And then bluffing don't really make sense as well. The spade does get there on the turn. We're gonna go for a check. So I don't. It's kind of like a weird spot. Like I don't think he's gonna bet with just an ace, and then on this board we're just gonna check and give up. He does bet the turn. When he used this sizing that he could have a flush, but we're not folding yet. And just check, and then he does check behind with ace-8, so we do have the best hand. Here on the turn, when they check the second time, I think we can start betting a little bit. We do have a gut shot straight draw, and we do just pick up the pot. That's nice. Yeah, over there, it's just like I can't find a bluffing combination. All the bluffs got there, like flush draw get there, straight draw get there. I just can't find a bluff the way he played the hand. Even though it's very weird that he shouldn't bet ace queen ace jack there. I think he had like a flush or something, maybe. Here on this flop, I think we'll have to call once. And we're 3-betting with 8 queens. On this flop, checking back. When he barreled the turn half pot, when he check the turn, we're gonna start betting. And here with the ace, we're just gonna check back because he does raise. He did raise under the gun. Here we're just gonna fold fives. He does raise under the gun with. Very likely he has an ace. We're gonna check, and then he checked the second time. We're gonna start betting a little bit, like half pot, and then we do just pick up the pot. Trying to think what he has. Opening Queen 9 suited here under the gun, a little bit loose. We don't have that many good hands today, so just gonna start like 3-betting more. Here we face a 3-bet. Putting a 4-bet is okay, but we don't really have the best blocker. I'd rather do it with like Ace X or King X. I guess we can see a flop. We do flop second pair. Here, definitely gonna defend with King Jack suited. And we do turn 2 pair. I'm gonna use a smaller sizing, just half pot. And he does bet pretty big. This is a recreational player. Just gonna call. Not the greatest turn, but we have tons of Queen Jack in our hand. Here he checked the 3rd time, and we're just gonna bet for value. Hopefully he has like Ace X. I think we put a blocker bet here. Unfortunately, we do get check jammed. Don't think he's bluffing here. I think we just ran into a big hand. Don't think he had Queen Jack. For a play like this, he might play aces or kings this way. I can't really think about anything else. Maybe he had ace queen and he'll play this way. But we're never calling here. Good for him. Ace 10, gonna put in a 3-bet. On here, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet. Three betting with ace king. I don't know why he's tanking. It's just a 3-bet. Some people likes to do that. Some people, when they have a big hand, they're like tank for a while. But I don't think he's doing that. He's the regular. Here we do have a backdoor flush draw on overcards. Here we're gonna start with a small c-bet. Here we're gonna start with a small c-bet as well. We turn a gut shot. Is there any reason to barrel this turn? I think so. Just gonna barrel the turn since we pick up extra equity, and then he does call fairly quickly. We pair our king on the river. He can obviously have some king jack here. I think he would dunk the river. He's tanking again. Like, that's just stupid. He does tank. He does dunk the river. I feel like he has tons of king jack. He's never bluffing here. We're just gonna check the turn. We're actually gonna fold here, because I feel like he's only doing this if he has like king jack, king jack, king 10 suited or something like that. Most likely king jack. Maybe a set. I just don't see his bluffing here. Maybe trying to figure out what he has here. I think he has mostly king jack here. One pair is definitely not the best hand here facing this action. Just gonna muck. Kind of suck, but I think it's the right decision. Not the hardest fold. Here on this board, gonna put a bigger c-bet. We do have a backdoor flush draw. Ran into tons of strong hand today. Heads up, 5-6 suited, facing 3-bet. We're just gonna give it to him. Pocket kings. Pretty happy with the way we play so far. I think we made some pretty good laydown. Pretty easy laydowns actually. Just no action with kings. And here we're gonna put in a 3-bet with a9 suited. On this board, gonna start with a small c-bet. Probably just gonna barrel. He can have tons of one space type of hands. Checking this river. I think he'll check back with like 9. So I don't expect him to bet too often here. He does bet in pretty large sizing as well. Obviously he can have like, he can be bluffing here. But unless he has like 2 pair specifically, I just don't see how he's playing this hand this way. I really wanted to call, but just gonna give it to him. Really wanted to call, but very unfortunate. And he does have a better jack. Facing a raise and a call. I don't like just calling here with king jack. I mean king 9 off. Against this player, I guess we're gonna see a flop. Because we just saw him cold call with king deuce suited in a 3-bet pot. Here we're 3-betting with queen jack suited. Could villain be jamming ace-5 on the turn? Which hand are you talking about? You mean the table here? Here we're calling the turn. We have the pair 9. Gonna call once. Here we're putting a 3-bet. Check call, check raising there. Of course it's a possibility, but I don't see that because we have tons of queen jack in our range. So the queen doesn't really benefit him that much. So we have tons of queen jack. I just don't think raising there as a bluff makes any sense, especially check shoving. Here we do face a 4-bet, however it's just double. I think we're gonna go for a call here actually, trying to set mine that, and then we do still lead ace king. And we do flop top set, that's nice. Hopefully he has aces here, and we get to stack him. Don't see slow playing here, just gonna go for a small bet. And jam the turn. He does fold, so I guess he had ace king there. Checking the turn. We can bluff for this $10, but I don't see the reason. Pocket aces, hopefully we get some action, but doesn't seem like it. No action for us. Pocket sixes in small blind mostly is a fold against those position. Ace kings offsuit facing a 3-bet from the big blind. That's generally a pretty strong range, so I'm just gonna call and play a flop. Here with the not flush draw, he checked the flop. Gonna bet out a turn. Here with ace king, I feel like it's mandatory to call once. He does use a smaller sizing on a turn. This is kind of fishy. 3-betting with 10-9 suited facing a large raise. I think we're just folding here. I think he's doing this with like aces and king ton, queens. Just gonna fold. And here we do get a call. This guy never folds to a c-bet. But we're gonna try on this board. He doesn't really connect that well on this board. Here we flop a gut shot, actually open double gutter. Probably going for a check raise here. And oh, it does work, so he does know how to fold sometimes. On this turn we're gonna lead out. Opening queen ace suited here is kind of loose, but we're doing it every once in a while. Facing a 3-bet from the bottom, we're just gonna 4-bet with ace queen here. This flag starting with a small c-bet. We haven't messed around too much in this session, and we haven't been 4-betting that much, so I feel like the regular gonna give us some credit. I'm not gonna defend with queen 3 suited. Blind versus blind against a weaker player, I think we can call with a6. It's kind of loose, but it's fine. Here we're gonna put in a 4-bet. Here facing a raise and then 3-caller, we're gonna squeeze this pretty hard. Checking on this flop. Unfortunately, we do run into a real hand here. He's never bluffing here. We raise under the gun and 4-bet, so our range is super strong, and then he just doesn't care and just putting a jam. So unfortunately, we ran into a big hand. Just gonna fold. Here we check only once on this board. Not a bad turn. Small c-bet on this board. When he barreled the turn that big, we just have to fold. Here he check call on the flop, so I'm not exactly sure what he has. He just flat called a ton of raise, and then I don't believe he has like a strong king. But pot is getting a little bit too big. Trying to figure out if we should bet this turn. I think we can. But if we go for this turn bet, we are jamming the river. It's kind of tricky. I think we should probably just check back. SPR is getting kind of weird. If we bet, like, we don't really have that much chips left on the river. So, just don't have that much full equity on the river. Just gonna check back. Yeah, he had pocket deuces. Holy shit, that's just bad. But good for us, I guess. That's exactly the hand I talk about. So we had tons of queen jack in our range. So in order for him to do that, he had kind of have a real hand there. And when he check jam like that, it just doesn't like. a recreational player just doesn't seem capable check raising on turn with a bluff, especially I mean, of course, like they don't understand ranges and stuff. They probably don't know like Queen Jack is like out of a lot of our range, but a recreational player just wouldn't do that, in my opinion. Like they wouldn't do it often enough. Where gonna put in a 3-bet with 7s. Yeah, I just feel like he wasn't bluffing there. I could be wrong, but definitely feel like he wasn't bluffing there. He has a smaller stack. That's just using his small 3-bet sizing. No problem. I probably explained it already, but you don't see it until 5 minutes later, obviously. I just don't see. So recreational player, they don't normally pull something like check jam the turn for bluff. You know, they normally especially after they bet the flop, they don't just all of a sudden check jam the turn. If they have it, they'll like. I mean, if they're on draw, they'll either continue betting or like they'll check call. I just don't see that a recreational player would like, you know, check jam a draw on the turn on that kind of board with the way the hand played out. Just my opinion. And then I don't need to expose ourselves against. I mean, putting ourselves in the situation where we could be easily drawing that versus a player where we feel like we have huge advantage on, if that makes sense. I just don't feel like we need to put ourselves in that spot where we could be dominated really bad against a player that we have a huge advantage on. So that was the reason why we just went for the fold there. This guy opens 8% of the time. 3-betting is probably not the greatest idea, but I don't like to call with nice, so we're still gonna go for it. I mean, folding is definitely an option here, but against a tight knit like that, I don't like folding pocket nines, especially at position. Here under the gun raise, we're just gonna flat call with pocket tens in the blind. Not the greatest flop for pocket tens, and this flop does help his range a lot. Just gonna fold, and here facing that small bet, I think we're gonna go for a check raise here, I guess. Definitely calling. We do block Queen 10, so he doesn't have the nuts here that often, but ace does benefit his range a lot, so I expect him to bet again here, and we probably cannot call. Yep, he potted, and just gonna give it to him. But that was not a flop that you want to use the small c-bet sizing, just in case you guys are wondering. Here, facing this pretty big fish, I'm just gonna 3-bet with 10-9 suited, play accordingly. Here, King Jack facing 3 players on 3 diamond board. Just gonna c-bet pretty big, and we do have a pretty good flop. We do have a gut shot and then a flush draw. Gonna start with a small c-bet. Hopefully we get there, because I feel like we can win a lot of money if he has like ace jack or something. This guy is like super sticky. This is the guy that calls king deuce suited out of position against a 3-bet with under the gun raiser still act behind. On this turn, we're gonna check here when jack pairs. Here we probably barrel, honestly, just barrel 35, and then he's gonna call with the ace of diamond. Facing this sizing, we cannot fold with the gut shot and flush draw, obviously. Hopefully he doesn't have a bolt, because if he does, we're drawing dead. We have the second nuts here, but he can obviously have an ace here. I mean ace of diamond. And we don't get there, just gonna check fold. This really sucks. It's such a good flop for us, and then he does make maximum. When he check here, I feel like we should probably bet something. Not exactly sure if he's gonna pay off. I feel like if he had like ace of diamond here, he's gonna just gonna go cuckoo and jam. Are we gonna get value from anything worse? He doesn't. I think we just check behind here. I don't see too much hand that's gonna. Yeah, he's definitely not. So we stuck out there, and then he's definitely not calling on that river. 3-betting with ace 9 suited. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get there with the gut shot and flush draw against a weak player. Very unfortunate. I feel like we can make a lot of money against that player if we hit something good. We do have trip jacks, and just gonna start with a. Actually, we're gonna use a larger sizing because there's a lot of gut shot, straight draw. Obviously, 2 spade for flush draw. Here on this board, I'm gonna bet big on this board. Top pair, top kicker. He check again. I think we're gonna continue to barrel here. And he called pretty quickly again. I don't think he's doing this with the jack. He check jam. This is kind of tough. He can obviously have like pocket tens here. Here we're just gonna value bet the river. With the backdoor diamond draw, I think we have to call. This is kind of rough. He can obviously have a set. Let me see. I think we have to call here. Just can't really put him on anything when he checks. When he over check, like when he check jam like this, I feel like it's tons of like pair in the open-ended draw or something. Obviously we're drawing pretty dead against the set. Pocket 7, pocket 8s. I guess we can make a case for fold since we use a larger sizing. We have tons of aces here, kings here. And then he knows that, he still check jam. We're gonna fold here. The same logic as last time. Not necessarily means I feel like we're losing there most of the time. It's more about against a player like that, I don't feel like we should put ourselves in that situation where we could be drawing pretty much dead. Obviously we're putting a 4-bet here with ace king off and then we get it in. So, I mean, it's a rainbow board. He doesn't have that much flush draws. He could flop a straight, I guess. He could flop a straight with Jack 10 suited. Just feel like we're not beating much there. Even like the best hand we can hold for here, we're gonna put in a 4-bet. The best hand we can hold for there was like I don't know, like 10-9. Which is top pair with like open this straight draw, and even that still have like close to 40% equity against our hand. So I'm not exactly sure that calling was the best idea, even though he seems like he's bluffing. But at the same time, if we look at it differently, he just basically give us a chance to fold. If he had a set, he's drawing like we were pretty much drawing that against a set, and then he's kind of giving us a break if we look at it differently. On this turn, it's either like overbet or fold or check back and give up. And I decided to just go for a check back and give up. Sometimes I'll be overbetting there. Or 3-betting with ace 9 suited. Here on this board, he raised under the gun. I'm gonna start with a small c-bet. essentially waiting for the reg to give you the gift. No need to gamble with someone you have edge against. Yeah, especially someone we have like huge edge against. Like I just don't see the reason to just go Coco, go cuckoo, and then you know, while we can potentially be drawing dead. He check again on this turn. We're gonna bomb it and then get it in. If he has like a set, he had a set. 6-8 gets there, but just don't see that. And here we're gonna check with a flush draw. I feel like this is the board that if we see bad, we get raised a lot. Pretty good flop for aces. Just go for a small c-bet. This is the same player that does the crazy check jam. And we do pair our king on the turn. I'm not too worried about people catching up. So we're just gonna go for a check here. I still don't see any value, anyone calling with worse. So we're just gonna go for a check here. Hopefully someone bluff the river. On this river, we just have to jam. The only hand that beats us is like Queen 10 or something. I feel like he has Ace 10 a lot here. Just gonna go for maximum value. And here we're gonna see a flop 3-way. Somebody does bet, and we're gonna call with king. And check in this river. And he does have a flush draw too, so unfortunately spades didn't get there, otherwise we win a big pot. Here is pocket eights, checking to the razor. Yeah, it's really about how you evaluate your opponents and then like what kind of edge you feel like you're having. I feel like I have a huge edge against those players, so I just don't see the reason to go Coco, go cuckoo, you know. Doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't mean I can crush them later while I'm like 90%, 95% favor. Why would I put in a position where I put all my stack in and then has a lot of potential of drawing dead? So I just don't see that. I mean, against better regulars, of course, since you play with them every day, you have to take chances sometimes. You have to like make a stand, just so they know that they shouldn't be messing with you. But against like a recreational player, that doesn't matter. That's out of the question. Here, facing a squeeze, pocket nice. I think we have to see a flop. Here, pretty big raise from the big blind. Just gonna call and play in position. These are some of the worst flop for our hands, so it is okay to just check and give up. Have absolutely no problem doing that. We're not beating anything, so we're just gonna muck. And here when he checked the turn, when he checked the flop, I'm just gonna... Ace King, we don't have that much value in this hand. And here's the thing, we're just gonna fold. And here we're putting a 3-bet with jacks. On this board, we're just gonna go for a small c-bet. It does get called, and then we turn top pair, which is pretty good. Just gonna continue barreling. Jamming the river. The only hand he could be like just slow playing here is a straight. I don't see him maybe a set, but going for maximum value here. I can snap call, chop chop. Was kind of surprised he snap called there, because we do have tons of aces and kings in our range, and then he doesn't have those. Obviously he didn't really care much. Snap calling our ass. Small c-bet on this board. And here we flop top pair and open this straight draw. Gonna go for a larger c-bet. We do face a raise. We're losing to king queen. I don't think we can fold yet. We can fold just yet. Gonna call and peel a turn. He could obviously have some 2 pairs. Gonna see bet. Pretty big here. He does check back. That makes me believe he has like a flush draw, maybe like a Queen X of diamonds, which he missed. So we're gonna check it to him. So he might bluff at it. We're not folding this once the turn goes check check. Unless he goes like 100 pot or something. He does just have a draw. Ace 4 suited, we're just gonna open here. Not the greatest flop, we have like 0 potential, just gonna check back. Here we 3-betting with Ace King suited, facing under the gun raise. Defending with 7-9 suited, flop absolute air. Easy check fold. Opening Ace 4 under the gun. When he check the second time, we can start barreling. Just gonna fold here. Obviously gonna check call like with 8s and 9s. And he can just fold without a mini pair. How are you guys doing on this Monday night? Feeling blue? Feeling pretty energetic? Hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. Ace King blind versus blind. Obviously we're gonna open. No action. For somebody to fold like a big blind there, like he really have to have like absolute trash. Because big blind is supposed to defend like 70% of their hands. I know I would. I don't think we gain any follower today. That's kind of sad. Hopefully we can have some soon. Still on pace to hit our August goal though. Sort of. A little off pace, but not that far off. Open with Queen 7 suited. Here we're just gonna open with Jack 10 off. Play a little bit loosey goosey. We does get punished by a 3-bet. Give me a chicken. Not the greatest player, but not the worst. With one overcard, we're gonna obviously do a small c-bet. Suited, we definitely see a flop. Offsuit, just gonna fold. Using a larger sizing here, because he can have a lot of ace jack, ace queen, queen jack type of hands. Turn does give us 2 pair. However, ace jack does get there. And diamond got there as well. We don't have a diamond. We can check back here. We can bet for value. Let's go for the second. We can have some like suited ace here as well. Suited ace X of diamond. Pocket 7 against a good regular. We do face the check raise. This guy seems to do this every time when a flush hits. It's kind of like a weird spot. Will he really raise this much with the flush? If we call this and then we don't pair our king or queen on the river, we probably have to fold. Queen. I don't see him doing this with anything else but the flush though. That's the problem. On this board, with the way the hand goes, it just doesn't seem like he's messing with us out of position like this. I'm gonna give it to him. Good for him. We'll get him one day. We will get him one day. Sometimes you just have to have a good discipline. Even though like this same guy pulled the same move twice, doesn't mean that he's bluffing you, right? Doesn't mean that he's targeting you. You just have to be like, you know, use your logic, like why he was doing that, and then will he really do that on that kind of board when, you know, when you show aggression since the beginning? Probably not. So if that's the case, with the backdoor flush draw and overcard, we go with the small c-bet against two players. Here open-ender, we can check raise, but this guy has tons of 10 in his range, so I don't mind just a call. I feel like we should check raise though against that small bet. I feel like if he has 10, he'll raise bet a little more. This turn doesn't improve us, we're just gonna check. So sometimes you just have to use your logic, even though it might seem like he's messing with you. But I mean, I don't think so. Not in that hand. Not in the two hands we play. Here, we're gonna go for a check raise and be greedy. Gonna be greedy. He checked back. Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna go for a... I'm gonna use like super small sizing here. Hopefully it's gonna induce him to bluff. Obviously backdoor flush gets there, but he had a set. Whatever. We still got some value on the river from a set. I think we would bet like too much, like 40. Maybe he would fold. Maybe. Maybe he would call. But $20 is like guaranteed value. If you go like 40, I think half the time he might even fold. Because we just don't have that many bluff on that board. So I don't mind checking back with mid pair. Queen Jack does get there on the turn. So this gonna start betting the turn. Yeah, we do just pick up the pot, which is nice. Yeah, I don't mind that river bet. My Rare Z, thanks for follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Ace 10 off opening. Facing a 3-bet. This guy 3-bet 43% of the time. Are you kidding me? Seems like a super crazy player. Just gonna give him a fish tag yet. First, on this board, we're gonna check back with the ace, just to mixing our range a little bit. Here we're calling against a player like that. Check calling this flop. 3-betting with queens. Defending with 6-4 suited. He does bet. We don't have a club in our hand. Probably gonna bet a little bigger. Actually, just gonna start small. Got shot with the backdoor club draw. Good enough to call. Here he bet the turn. We're just gonna call. Don't see much value in raising here. We do have a got shot straight draw. And we do turn a flush draw. Here we turn a flush draw as well. We're just gonna check, possibly check call against that player. 16, I think we have to call. Hopefully a 5 or a club get there on the river. We're checking back here. And we do just win the pot. definitely calling. Unfortunately, we don't get there, so we just have to fold. Now we have 2 pair. On this board, it's kind of weird. 10 makes it a straight. And he does check to us on the river, so he opened up. I don't think he's folding much though. What can we wrap here? We can't really wrap much. I think he's checking a queen. I'm just gonna check here. Hopefully check back. If he bets here, I don't think we have the best hand. Most likely we don't have the best hand, but against a crazy player like that, you just don't know. So depending on the sizing, and then we'll decide what we want to do. 17 we definitely have to call. It's just nothing we can do, and he is bluffing. That makes no sense. If you want to bluff, just go bigger, or just don't bluff at all. It doesn't make any sense to go like small. Under the gun +1. King queen off, like not really the best hand to peel. Just gonna give it to him here. And on this turn, we're gonna start betting with top pair. There are 2 flush draws out there. Just gonna protect against those hands. There's tons of straight draw, flush draws out there. Leading here is super strong. We can have tons of sets. The river bricked. We're just gonna check, and then hopefully he's gonna bluff at it. I don't think we can fold this river when all the draws missed. He just gave up. He has a 6. That's like a gush shot, and that's kind of weird that he called the turn. If he called the turn, he's gonna be planning to bet the river a ton. But I guess this is a bad river to bluff, so he just shut down, which is, I don't have a problem with it. You can buy followers. Yeah, the other day, this guy came into my channel, and then he was trying to sell, like, dude, asking me to buy followers and shit. I'm like, come on, dude. I don't do this for money, bro. Like, do this for fun, to help people. I can care less about like making money on my channel. I don't care. Yeah, I'm here to talk to you guys. Just playing. I'm gonna play anyways, so why not just stream and then, you know, have some people watching and then asking questions, stuff like that. Hopefully I can help somebody turn around their game or something like that. Then that would be really beneficial. Here we're just gonna call with queens. No reason to do a 4-bet against a small blind 3-bet since we already raised under the gun, so our range is super strong. He does start with a small c-bet. Definitely not folding yet. With queens, we have to call this. He checked the turn. I don't see a reason to bet here. The only hand we're beating is like jacks, tens, something like that, and then just don't see a reason to bet here. And river is another ace. Just gonna check back here and expecting to have like some pocket jacks, tens, hopefully. Maybe he has kings. He has pocket nines. Don't see a reason to bet the turn. We're just not getting too much value from worse. So instead of exposing ourselves, it's probably better to just check back. On this turn, we're gonna barrel pretty big. Gonna use the overpot. Overpot bet the turn. 2 flush draw out there. 7-9 did get there, but it's unlikely he has 7-9. And he does call again. That's very interesting. And on the river, I actually think about going for an over jam, because tons of flush draw misses. All the flush draw misses, and then I'm trying to think if we should go over jam or just over bet. Gonna go for the jam. We have some history together, and then we pulled this move quite often against him, so unfortunately he folded, but that's gonna work out sometimes. I don't even think if he's folding to that, I'm not sure if like a $60 bet will make any difference. Maybe, but we're gonna be greedy sometimes, especially against regulars. You wanna like plant a seed in their mind that you might, you know, just pull a bluff against them, and that's gonna be like plus EV long term. I don't know why we just call here. Definitely gonna put in a raise here. Pocket nice. Maybe I was too focused on talking. Here we flop the nuts. Gonna start with a small C bet. Hopefully he continues. Yeah, so me and that guy had tons of history of me just 3-bet and bet 3-3 as a bluff and jam the river to bluff. Trav G, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So yeah, we have tons of history of over jamming river with bluff, and then he did call us down once, I think. So definitely have some history. Here he called a flop. We still have the nuts on the turn. I'm gonna go for an overbet. We'll do this with the nuts, and we'll do this with complete air. So our range is super balanced, even though this guy probably doesn't care. He's just like a station type of player. Never play with him, so doesn't seem like somebody who's gonna fold an ace. On this river though, I don't think he has that many diamonds in his range. Just go for a 45 bet. Hopefully he doesn't jam. Don't jam, just call, bro. Just call, bro. Don't jam. I already lowered the price. I mean, you can make the call. Don't jam, bro. You jam, you probably have a flush. Checking back on this board. He has 2 pair, and then we do get maximum value there. Checking this flop. When he checked the second time, gonna start betting a little bit, and we turn a 10 on the turn. I'm gonna start betting. We still have the flush draw to go with our 10. Okay, nice. So this bad player, you know, limps. So I'm gonna isolate him. This is a guy who just pay off 3 streets. Against our flop nuts. However, I don't think he was that bad. He did flop 2 pairs, so you can't really blame him for calling the overbet on the turn and then call a value bet on the river. I don't blame him. But with the way we play, we had at least like 2 pair, like better 2 pair there, like aces up, maybe a set or a straight. Here we flop a gush shot and the backdoor flush draw. Betting, c-betting is okay. Checking behind is okay as well, because I don't think we have that good of a full equity here. Checking back. You, my friend, are solid. Glad I stumbled across the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thanks so much for the follow. And yeah, feel free to stick around. And then we do have a pretty good viewer. My viewers are pretty cool and very nice to each other. He bet the turn when diamond hits, and we do have a pair, so we're not gonna fold yet because he can be doing this with like ace X, ace of diamond. River's a jack. He does pot it. Obviously, we can have the best hand here. He's either doing this with a jack or like ace of diamond that misses. I think we have to call here because there's tons of draw that missed. And then he does have queen nine. So our check on the flop induced him to bluff 2 streets. That's why you need to have a balanced range in terms of a balanced checking range. Sometimes you have to check with nuts, sometimes you have to check with top pair, sometimes you have to check with air. Similarly to how you bet. Sometimes you bet with air, sometimes you bet with the nuts. Sometimes you bet with like top pair. Here we're gonna put in a 4-bet, obviously. Against this player, we're actually gonna make it 4x. Because we are playing a little deeper, and then this guy is like the guy who check raised us twice when flush hits. Not exactly sure if he had it both times. I thought he'd had it, but he pulled the same move twice. And then I wasn't too worried about it because I knew we are gonna get his money later down the road. And here's our chances. Aces, and we do have 2 flat callers. I think we have to bet kind of big here. And here we are small, starting with a small C bet. We are kind of deep. I should have bet like a little bigger, like half the pot, but doesn't really matter. Pretty good turn. It's a really good turn. I don't think he's doing. I don't think he's 3-betting pre with the pocket 4 and pocket deuces. So almost guarantee we have the best hand here. It's just a matter of we're jamming this turn. Hopefully we don't run into a set. Obviously it's a possibility that he had a set, but we're going in. And here we're just gonna bet the amount that he's gonna call, and then he's gonna call a river bet. 80. 80 is about right. And we're jamming any river. If you had like a flush draw here, then so be it. We do unblock ace of club. Just gonna try to fold here. It's fine. Sometimes you miss a 3-bet and you just give up. Nothing wrong with it. And he does tank. So when he tanks here, we have the best hand. He might have like, since we block the not flush draw, I think he has like pocket 10s here or something. Hopefully that's what he has. That way he's drawing to 5%. Plant a seed in his mind. That's some Phil Ivey shit. Yeah, against a regular, man. Like, against a regular, you have to do that shit, you know? Planting a seed in their mind. So next time when you have the nuts, they're gonna pay you off. Or next time when you're bluffing, they're gonna fold. Just kind of mess with them a little bit. I mean, people mess with us too, but I try to keep our discipline, but not gonna say 100% of the time. We are always disciplined enough to make the right decision. He does have jacks, and then he does draw into 2%. I mean 5% on the river, and pretty good stack. Here we are 3-betting with kings, and here we're calling. We do have another aces here. We do have a raise and 3-bet. Ace jack suited here, we can put in a 4-bet, but it's a little bit of a stretch, especially we don't know what this guy have, even though he opened a cutoff, but he can still have a real hand, obviously. So we're just gonna give up here, it's fine. On this board, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet. Pretty good flop for kings, unless he has specifically pocket 7s and pocket 5s. Raise under the gun, small blind 3-bet. We have aces. This is like heaven because he almost always have a strong hand. I guess we can go for a jam here, or we can go for a small 4-bet. Let's go with the small 4-bet. Don't really want flat calling because obviously he can come alone, and you don't want to play aces two-way. It's easy fold here. On this turn, I feel like we're gonna just bet and then get it in on the river. And here, easy call. He had pocket kings. Can we hold? Yes, we can. And here on the river, we're just gonna jam. Hopefully, he has like ace queen. I don't see how he play a set like this. I guess it's a possibility, but that means that he's pretty bad if he play a set like this. Most likely just ace jack, ace queen, king queen, just gonna jam. Go for maximum value. When he tanks, we have the best hand. He go with pocket 8s. Holy shit, man. This is what I'm talking about, right? Like when you plant a seed in your opponent's mind, it's gonna mess with them. They just put us on like ace king. So in his mind, we're just messing with him. So we c-bet with like ace high, and then we turn a gutter ball to go with our ace king high, and then he just check call, and then check call the jam on the river. The reason why we can get this value, not because they are bad. So the reason why we can get those values is not because they are bad, because it's because our image. Like, we're capable of triple barreling here with ace king or with like any two cards. We can be doing this with like king jack of diamond. We can be doing this with like jack nine of diamonds. It's because we are capable of doing that, and then our opponents know about it. Here pocket tens, it's kind of like a rough spot. I really don't like this spot. Under the gun race, under the gun +1 3-bet. They both have strong range, and then if we do the call 4 here, it's probably not the best idea. I feel like we're getting jammed on a lot, and then pocket 10 is just not that good here. It's just gonna muck. So in order for us to get the maximum value here, thanks to our image, because people know we're capable of triple barreling bluff, we do that quite often. This is how we're able to get maximum value. I was expecting to have like ace queen here, but it's crazy that he called with pocket eights. I guess it's the same thing. Like, if he has ace queen or pocket eights, I guess it's the same hand pretty much, because we are wrapping aces and kings only. So I guess it kind of makes sense for him to call with pocket eights, but it's kind of ballsy to call with pocket eights, right? Because if we are bluffing, I mean, yeah, with the way the hand play out, we have aces or kings. That's pretty much it. Maybe we'll play ace queen this way as well. So he's kind of crazy to call with eights, because we'll be doing this with ace queen quite often. Definitely not king queen, but ace queen will play probably the same way. Here on this board, just gonna check the flop. So for him not to have ace queen here and then just check calling the jam on the river, in my opinion, is too crazy, right? Because if he had ace queen, at least he's chopping with ace queen, and then he's beating obviously all the bluffs. But with pocket eights, he just doesn't beat anything. Gonna bet the turn. Yeah, but good for us. Go for maximum value. Here on a small c-bet on this board. River another king. I don't see a reason to bet here. I feel like he has tons of queen. Not exactly sure if queen's gonna value bet the river. We probably go for value here. Go for value. I think queen might pay us off here, since we checked the flop. It's pretty convincing. Facing a race of this size, I think we have to call. Really don't like it though. Not exactly sure what he's doing this with. I think he has tons of like king X. Just gonna call. Pocket fours. Okay, nice hand. We definitely lose the minimum there. So he turned pocket four. Okay, so we check the flop and then get there on the turn. This is the risk you have to be taking when you slow play sometimes or try to pot control. Sometimes people are gonna catch up, and then this is one of the sequence that we actually got caught up, which is fine. Here we flop top pair in the clubs draw. No reason to check raise. Just go for a small smooth call, and then on this turn we're gonna lead out. Now we do this lead with the nuts, and then we do this leads with tons of air as well. And he does call. On the river, we're gonna go for an overbet. And we do get instant call. And he had a flush. Oh my god. I guess he lost the minimum there. When you have the flush, you just can't really put people on the flush, because it's just very rare that, you know, two players have flush. So yeah, that's kind of suck. I think if we check the turn, we'll make more money. Check call the turn and check jam the river. We'll make more money. But you never know. Maybe he fold to the check jam on the river, and that way I think we don't make more. Since we overbet the river, so I'm pretty happy with the result. Shouldn't be too greedy about it. Jack nice offsuit under the guns, just a fold. Here we have overcard and flush draw. Here we're just gonna range betting with the standard C bet. We do raise under the gun, so we have tons of queen X, queen queen, ace queen. When he checked the turn, gonna bet the turn. Gut shot and flush draw. Checking back, and we do river king. Good vibe on the stream, Lee. Gonna make sure I'm planting seeds, brother. That's the plan, right? That's the plan. He lead to us. He can have some king queen here, so there's no reason to raise here. Just gonna call. He does have king queen, nice hand. When he lead the river, just feel like he has tons of king queen, but obviously we're not gonna fold. It's just a situation where even you know he had king queen, you kind of still have to pay him off because you have top pair, top kicker, right? Small pot, no big deal, no biggie, no biggie. Gonna pay off sometimes. It's a recreational player. Another recreational player, 3 bets. This guy doesn't fold to that many 4 bets, so we're gonna go for a decent sizing 4 bets. Checking back on this board. We do have a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. And he jammed. This is very interesting, this guy jammed. We probably have to mark queens. Hopefully he doesn't. If he jam here, we most likely have to fold. Yeah. Oh, this is kind of like a bummer. Can he have ace king here? He's kind of crazy. 20 seconds to make a decision. This guy can have ace king, but that's the best we can hope for is ace king. He had tons of aces and kings as well with the way this hand played out. So the best we can hope for is the flip, and he has aces and kings more often than ace king, I think. We just mark here. Just don't see queens being good here. They both have ace king. Ugh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, it's whatever. Just because the dynamic of the hand, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, he should have full ace king there, but obviously we don't know him. He's not like one of the regulars. Just the dynamic of the hand, I feel like we should be folding queens there. Obviously Heimstein 2020, right? Like, we saw like they have ace king and they took each other's out, and then we do flop a set. But at the end of the day, like what's the frequency of us having the best hand there? I don't think it's that much, honestly. Missed the chance to win a big pot, but it's whatever. Start with a small c-bet and check in this river. Expect us to lose. Yeah, let's go over this hand. Yeah, so this guy raised, and then he 3-bet. We put in 4 bets. I'm gonna raise this turn. We 4-bet. And then he called. I expect him to have tons of draws here, and then all the draw missed, so pretty sure we have the best hand. He might try to bluff, but we're calling. Unless he go like crazy, like bet like 60 or something. Yeah, I do expect us to have the best hand here. Yeah, like he raised, short stack, and then this guy 3-bet. We put in 4-bet. And then this guy jam, and then he just he's just jam on behind him like with ace king off. This is like the perfect example of overplaying ace king. Even though like it worked out for them, but like this guy, it's no way this guy is a winning player because facing a 4-bet behind and then facing a jam in front of you, ace king offsuit here is a fold automatically. Like it's not even close. I'll like snap fold ace king here. But obviously he didn't agree. Unfortunately, we lose the opportunity to win. Like how big the pot it was? I think this guy has like 280. 280 plus 120. So we missed a chance to win a 400 pot. Not like to win $400 in a pot. Calling on the flop with the gut shot. The reason why we call is because small blind opening range is super wide. Doesn't mean he has to have a king queen here. He can do this with pocket eights. Facing the turn bet, just gonna fold. And facing this huge bet on the turn, we're just gonna fold. So yeah, here like the pocket kings, like I mean the ace king guy, like this guy is definitely a losing player, because any solid winning player would instant mock ace king there, and then we can obviously easily call with queens against this guy, but like it didn't happen, right? So I'm pretty sure like any other like most regulars in this stakes will probably just ship it with queens here and then thinking it's a good play, but like in fact like calling with queens there is actually pretty bad because he has tons of aces and kings, and the ace king is the best hand you can hold for, and then it's still a flip versus the ace king. Obviously we get there on the flop with the set, but Hindsight's 2020, man. Like obviously you don't lose if you knew what's gonna happen. Trav, this dude genuinely just want his viewer to better poker play. Is quite refreshing for a streamer to not give a shit about money. Yeah, well, like if you guys know me, I own 3 businesses, all car related. So I'm not like poker is like I used to play poker for a living for 4 years back in the days, but like now poker is just fun for me. Like it's not a job. It's not like I see like some streamer, they're trying to like charge courses and shit. Not like streamer, but like YouTuber. They try to like charge courses, and then like they're not even that good. I mean, how can you be having like a 2 to 3 BB per 100 win rate and then charging courses? It's ridiculous. Checking this turn. This is kind of weird. This guy limp 3-bet. This is like a play I haven't seen for a while. Not exactly sure what we beat here. Just gonna fold here. Just kind of fishy. Just feel something is wrong. What do we beat here? I don't think we beat much. Just gonna fold. We don't beat anything here. When we bet and he just dunk lead at the river, he almost always has us there, I think, in my opinion. We didn't have action with pocket kings. That kind of suck. Yeah, poker player in general. Like I play live poker for living. 10-20, 5-10, no cap games. Commerce Casino. I've known like tons of poker pro, and I've known tons of good poker player, and yeah, some of them are just dicks, man. Like, I hate to say it, but some of them are just dicks, bro. A lot of good poker players are just dicks. I don't know why they have to do that, but it's just the way it is. Plenty of poker players, they're just complete dicks. 3-betting here with ace jack off. Gonna make it bigger too, since we're playing deeper. Defending against this recreational player. Tons of dicks. In the poker world, it's the way it is. Facing a huge 4-bet ace jack off is just not good. Just gonna give it to him. Nice answer. I'm gonna wrap up the session pretty soon, and then I'm gonna play. Just gonna do a small c-bet and then give up if it gets called. I'm gonna play my video on YouTube. If you guys want to, feel free to go to YouTube. I'm not even sure what the link is. Just go to YouTube and search D-League Poker. Since I have less than 100 subscribers, so I can't really have a specific website, not website, like a specific link that's with my name on it. So it's all like randomized. So I don't remember what it is. But yeah, feel free to check out my channel and then go over the video I just created today. Basically going over our July, what happened in July. On this term, without an ace of spade or any spade, we just check back and give up, I think. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to put it on the stream later after the session, and for you guys to take a look at it. If you guys don't want to go to YouTube, if you do, obviously, I mean, if you enjoy the video, you can obviously watch it here. And then if you enjoyed it, you know, go to YouTube, shoot me a sub. That would be highly appreciated. We didn't have a good July, but there were some very interesting hands for us to talk about, for me to talk about, and then we did ran like 20 buy-ins behind EV, but shit's gonna happen sometimes. Yeah, yeah, that hand kind of hurt a little bit. Pocket queens versus the 2 ace king. Could have won like 400 more. But hindsight 2020, right? He had more aces kings than ace king there, in my opinion. Unfortunately, we missed the opportunity to win a big pot, but I think that was the correct play. That was I'm pretty confident that was the correct play, folding queens pre-flop, and it was a pretty easy fold as well. Just gonna go over today's session, see how we did today. This is actually this is July. Let me fix it. I was doing it earlier today while we were doing the videos. Let's just do starting things for stakes, fast. Okay, this should do it. Let's see how we do today. Basic by session. We're up 654 today, so not bad. I think we have been on a, oh, actually no, we're up 399. So we have been on a 1, 2, 3. We have been on a 5-session winning streak. I did won like $1,000 in the past 2 sessions at natural A as well. So we have been on a rise. 5th session in a row that we're up. Obviously, it could have been 400 more if we just balls up and then plays like a retard calling with queens there instead of actually being logic and then did a discipline fold. Could have won 800 today, but $400 playing the right way probably is more important than winning $800 today and then making the wrong play, right? If you think about it, like even though like we missed the opportunity to win that $400, but by making the correct play in long term, it's just gonna be plus EV versus if we win $400 today, like $400 more today, and then by making that kind of call in a long run, we'll be losing money. Not losing money, but I don't think it's gonna be a plus EV play. So we're gonna be down in the long run, right? So it's better that we are up $400 and we play 100% solid versus overcalling with queens and then make 400 extra today, because that's gonna lead to losing more money in the future. So always focus on making the right play versus being result orientated. Let's see if there's any hand that's worth talking about. I don't think so. How do I like unselect tag. Oh no. Okay, I think I know what happened. Okay. Okay, now it's good to go. The two biggest pot we play aces, and then we just gonna go over a little bit. Aces, race under the gun, 3-bet, got called by 2 spot, C-bet big called, and jamming the turn, and then he called with pocket jacks. Okay, that's pretty normal, but we did get maximum value there, and I don't think there's that many hands that we're talking about. Like, we do have pretty good equity on the all-in hands we won. And we didn't lose any buying today, mostly just folding. That's pretty much it. Let me pull out the video, and you guys can take a look at it. I'm gonna put it on another window so you guys enjoy the video, and I'm gonna turn off the video, the music actually, and then you guys can take a look on the session we play earlier. Not the session, but our YouTube video. Feel free to sub and enjoy it. It's basically our July overview. I'm gonna be away, gonna go take a shower and something. I'll be back in maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes or so, and then I'll be reading the chat. So I'll be back in like 20 to 30 minutes, and you guys enjoy the video. This is how we did in July, and then it's some interesting hand, and then I'll break down those hands. And then once again, if you like a video like this, feel free to sub to my YouTube channel. It's still under 100 views right now, so 100 subs right now, so I cannot have customized link to my channel. It's kind of all randomized. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you shoot me a sub on YouTube, and I highly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in 20-30 minutes when the video wrap up, and I'll answer some questions as well. Hello everyone, it's Derek here. This is gonna be our July review video. Gonna talk about how we did in July, and then gonna go over some of the crucial hands. Not crucial, but like big pots. I have tagged. And then going through our thought process and something like that. So this is our graph for July. Obviously, we don't run so hot, as you can see. Our EV is like way above our our actual winning. It's very unfortunate. I think we ran like 20 buying behind our EV, all-in EV. So here's the result. We were down a little bit, like 1400, like almost like 1500, while our expected value was 23.6. So it's very unfortunate. I think it's like let me see how bad it is. I'm actually going over this live, so I didn't even check by myself. So we are running $3,850 behind our expected value, which is equivalent to almost 20 buy-ins. On the rake back, we did get like close to like 2,000, like 2,100 or something. So we're still like up $500 for the month after the rake back. It's definitely not something we want to be. Like, I was never a rake back player in my entire career, but something like doing for a month like this. While we ran like almost 20 buying behind EV, it is still good to be able to be in the positives after the rake backs. Let's just go over a few hands that I have tagged, and then see how it is. I only tag a few hands here, and then I tag some hands on natural A. That's kind of interesting. I did play a few hours in natural A's during July. I played more out there starting August, but that's just something that we're gonna be talking about in an August review video. So let's just focus on this one for now. Okay, let's just go over the hand. I think just do this and then replay hands. Okay. So the very first hand, we were dealt pocket nines. Let me just make this bigger so it's easier for you guys to see. First hand, we got dealt pocket nines in the cutoff, and there's a race under the gun. Sit out is a pretty solid regulars, and there's a cold call from a recreational player. And here our goal is, of course, if we want to play, we need to put in a 3-bet because you never want to put, because if we just call here, it's very likely that we can get squeezed by the button, we can get squeezed by the blind, or if we don't get squeezed, small blind and big blind can come along. And then basically we're playing pocket nines against 4 or 5 players. I mean, 3 to 4 players at least, and then even we have position, pocket nine is not the hand that you want to be playing against more than 2 player. Actually, I prefer just heads up. Like even against 2-player, pocket nine is kind of vulnerable. So we put in a squeeze 3-bet to 2060. The sizing is about 4x, 4.5x, almost 5x, because we do want to isolate them. We don't want them to both call, and then we want to give a pretty bad price for whoever that's still yet to act, to fold their hands. So for example, we do this, and then let's say a button has like ace queen. It's gonna put in an extremely difficult situation. Possibly just fold out his ace queen, ace jack suited, sometimes that kind of hands. Then it's gonna be a big win for us, right? All the button fold, blind folds, and then under the gun, cold call, which is good because if he has any type of strong holdings like ace king, ace queen suited, obviously jacks plus, not jacks plus, maybe queens plus, he would definitely go for a 4-bet. So he flat call, and then surprisingly, under the gun +1 recreational player also called. So when he called, I put him on some kind of like mid pocket pairs, maybe like low suited connector, something like that, but never something too strong. And fortunately, we flop top sets. However, there's obviously straight draw and flush draw out there. They both check it to me. On this board, you probably want to bet like a little more than a smaller sizing that we have been using. Like I'm not sure what I did. We actually went for the small sizing. I guess that's fine because this is 3-bet pot. Pot is already big enough, so 30% its pot is normally like, if it's heads up, this is like a 50% sizing. So I guess it's okay. Under the gun cold called. He can have like some overcards and flush draw, gotcha and flush draw here. He can obviously have some overpair. And then surprisingly, the recreational player called as well. If he had some kind of so we were putting on suited connectors and small pocket pair pre-flop. So if he flop a set here, he's obviously gonna raise. So when he flat call, I don't think he has much. Maybe like a flush draw or something. And then the turn is very good for us. He paired the board, so now we're only losing to pocket fours. Obviously, we had the nuts on the flop, but now we are not afraid of draws anymore. He checks, and then so the recreational player actually let out for $112. For us, there's no reason to raise here because we're not afraid of any flush draw anymore. They're drawing dead, and his range, he has like he can have some pocket fours, but most likely holding that's doing this is probably like pocket eights. That's the only thing I can think about it. And we had that crush, obviously. And then we don't know what this guy has, and he can obviously have a flush draw. And then if we just flat call here, it giving at least some kind of chance to call. I don't think he would call with just a flush draw. So there's no reason to raise here. We just go for the call. And under the gun fold, river is a 3 of spades. And he checked. It's really weird that he checked here because if he had pocket eights, he's definitely gonna go for it. If he let out with the flush draw, he get there on the river, he should probably just jam. Of course, for us, once we check too, like we have 147 into a pot that's 350. Obviously, jamming is like the only option, so we go for the jam. And surprisingly, he call with a king high flush. So the way he plays like kind of weird because if he let out $100 something on the turn, he should probably just jam the river, right? But obviously against a play like that, you don't know how they play. But it's kind of interesting. But you don't want to be playing a flush draw this way. It's just completely wrong. If I were in his position, I'd probably just check fold the turn because the board paired on the turn, so he could be easily joined that against a boat. So he should probably just check fold the turn. Next one. Okay, next one we were dealt ace-10 offsuit at mid position. We opened to 450, got flat call by 2 players. We flop middle pair. This is probably a board that if we see bet, we're gonna bet a little bigger. But I don't see too much full equity on this board. We went for the check, and then this guy bet 30%, really small bet, and then gets flat against two players. Against this sizing, obviously we are continuing because we do have the ace of spade to for the backdoor flush draw, backdoor not flush. So we went for the call, and then the turn is very interesting. Is the ace of clubs. So we now have aces up. However, king jack does get there. Obviously they can have king jack of spade, something like that, or just offsuit king jack. So we're not gonna be too thrilled about this card, but at the same time, we have the best hand most of the time. Like king jack's the only hand that we're losing to, and I just don't want to check again on this double suited board. If they can't have any type of two clubs, two spades type of hands, I want to charge them. So we actually went for the pot lead, which I don't mind. This is probably the best play. I don't like checking because I feel like we're getting checking back a lot by worse, and then when they're bad, it's almost like always crushed us. So I'd rather just bet out and then fold to a raise versus just check calling. Unfortunately, they both called. This is kind of like really shocking to me. And then I thought like when we get called by two spot, I just feel like we don't have the best hand. But at the same time, if they have king jack, they probably want to put in some kind of raise on a double suited board. So I wasn't sure like where we are at this point, but we don't have to worry about it because we rivered the boat. We're only losing to ace queen now, and it's very unlikely they have ace queen because if they do, they probably gonna three bet us pre-flop since they both just flat call pre-flop. This guy for sure he doesn't have ace queen because I raise small and then there's a flat caller. If he has ace queen, it's definitely squeezing three bet here with ace queen if he has ace queen. So I'm not too worried about ace queen on this board. So we value bet 80, and the button decided to raise us to 245. I was making it so we were playing like super deep, right? We have like 300 big blind to start the hand with. I was thinking if he had ace queen, he's for sure is gonna squeeze three bet pre-flop. Just because he didn't do that, so we pretty much we have the nuts because we only lose to ace queen, and then I just don't see how he just calling after a raise and a call with ace queen on the button. It's almost 100% the time he's gonna three bet ace queen. So I'm thinking that he probably had like pocket tens or pocket eights, but even that he should be like raising at some point during the hand, right? He could have like ace eight that's doing this, but I don't think ace eight is ever folding, so we just go for the jam because he doesn't have any ace queen in his range, in my opinion. So we went for it, and then unfortunately he folds. So I'm guessing that he could be even bluffing here. It's kind of crazy, but it's definitely a possibility because I don't see him playing a set this way. The only set combination he has is pocket 10 and pocket 8s. He probably 3-bet pocket 10s pre-flop. So only pocket 8s and ace 8 are his full house combination. I don't think he had either because if he had pocket 8, he should be like raising on the flop. If not, raising on the turn 100% because I do have a lot of ace queen in our range. So I actually think he might be just bluffing here, or he has like king jack for a straight. But king jack should just be a call. So once he raised, he has to at least have a bolt, or he just like bluffing and then gets caught. Regen and then he fold. Good pot for us, but could have been a little better. Next hand, we have pocket nines in a small blind, raise under the gun, or two callers, and obviously in small blind with pocket nines, we have to do a huge squeeze because we don't want to play pocket nines out of position against 3 players. Most likely 4 players, because if we call big blind, most likely will come alone. And then we got called by all 3 players, so this is kind of like a weird situation because most of the time, once we do like a huge squeeze, it should be like heads up or 2-player maximum. But we flop middle set. However, it is a pretty draw heavy board with the jack 10 9. Any king queen, any queen 8, any 10, a7 is a straight. But we flop a set in a huge 3-bet pot against 3 players, so I don't think we're folding here that much. If they have a straight, then we just have to kind of pair the board and stock out. Just never folding on this board. We go for a pretty decent sizing half pot bet. Got called by the under the gun raiser, and then the other two folded. At this point, I'm thinking he could possibly have king queen, and then he could possibly have king queen. He could have like some ace jack. That's about it. King queen ace jack, maybe ace queen with the open-ended straight draw and 2 overcards. So this turn pair, the board obviously is pretty good for us, because if he had like jacks or 10 or even jack 10, I think he's probably raising the flop. So we just continue and just shoved because he has $175 left. Pot is already 212, and he decided to call. And river is a spade, and then he shows ace jack off. So it's kind of weird that he played this way, because in our range we have tons of aces, kings, and queens. So I don't know why he called the flop and then called the turn. Sort of. If I were him, I would probably just fold pre-flop, because ace jack offsuit against a small blind huge 3-bet is just like getting crushed most of the time, right? So if I'm in his position, I'm folding pre-flop. But he decided to go for it, and then once you flop top pair top kicker, it's very hard to fold, especially we can be squeezing here with pretty light. So he went for the call, and then it worked out. It worked out for us this time. Next hand we have pocket kings. We raise under the gun, and then we get 3-bet by the cutoff. Obviously we put in a 4-bet. He flat call, and then the flop comes a Rambo 854. This doesn't hit any of our range that hard. If we were winning pre-flop, we're most likely still winning after this flop. We decided to go for the check. My thought process was that if he has jacks or queens, he's probably gonna bet, and we're just gonna check raise and get it in. And he does bet pot, and then at this point, we're never folding here, so it's rather that we want to call, or we want to just check raise, right? But the goal is to get pocket queens and pocket jacks to call, so we don't want to just call and then let's say the turn is like an ace or king, and it's gonna scare them off, right? So we decide to go for the check raise, and then he called. Turn is a 6 of diamonds. It doesn't change anything, even though it's a 4 card to the straight, but he just doesn't have any 7 in his range, and then we don't have that many 7s in our range at all, since it's under the gun raise versus a cutoff 3-bet, and he does call our 4-bet. So we just decide to go for the jam. If he had jacks and queens here, most likely he might call, since the pot is already too big, and then we're only betting like a little over half the pot on the turn. So I'm pretty sure that jacks and queens, once they get to this point, jacks and queen is probably calling and never folding. So we went for the jam, and then he called. And unfortunately, he had the aces here. But it's like I wouldn't play this hand any differently, because he actually slow play his aces, which we give him credit for. But we're never folding kings pre-flop anyway, so this is just unfortunate that we ran into aces. Our kings ran into tons of aces in July, so this is just one of them. That's the pot's a little bigger. One next hand is a king queen offsuit in big blind, mid position open, and button called. Here we can go for a 3-bet, or we can go for a flat call. Either way worked. So we actually went for the call, and then the flop is open in the straight draw. I think this guy's like a super bad fish, so that's why we decided to just call. And then this is a pretty good regular. Obviously 3-betting is okay as well. And then flop we have overs and open in the straight draw, and then we check it to him. He bet half size, the good regular fold, and we just called. And then turns the ace, so we have the nuts. And we decided to go for a check, and this guy bet out again, like a little over half the pot. My thought process was he could have a lot of ace jack here. He could obviously have a set, and then he's not the type of player that can lay down those kind of hands. So because I have some notes and he's kind of like a really bad fish, so we actually did something that we don't normally do against regular or even like just recreational player, because I thought he's like extremely bad. And then this when you bet this turn, I just feel like he has tons of ace jack, ace 10, or even a set, something like that. So we actually went for the overgen. So we overgen like freaking 200 BB in, because he's deep as well. So I just feel like if he had ace jack and a set or something, he's gonna overplay. And then he instant call us. He snap call, right? So when we did this, he snap call. I'm like, oh nice. And river paired the board, unfortunately, and he does have pocket jacks. So we lost a huge $900 pot here. However, I was pretty happy with the way we play, because like I said, I just don't think he's the type of player that's gonna fold ace jack on this board or even ace 10. Not to mention set, like the set is never folding here. So our overjam actually makes sense because we did have the nuts, and then I'm not even sure if he's folding ace king of clubs. He might even call that. So I was pretty confident with our play. And then it did work out because we did get maximum value, but unfortunately he sucked out, and then we ended up losing like a $900 pot. That's just unfortunate. I think that's it for ACR, and then let's go to natural 8. So we only play like 2,500 hands on natural 8 in July. We're up a little bit, like 3 buy-ins or so. There is a few hands I marked. Okay, so only 5 hands, and then we'll be wrapping up the session. I mean the reviewing session, obviously. Let's just go for this. Replay hands and make it bigger. Okay, so this is a few hands we play on natural. It's more interesting hands because the player are obviously weaker. So you'll see like some kind of weird stuff going on. And I'm just gonna go over our thought process. The first hand we have pocket sixes at mid position. Sometimes we raise, sometimes we fold, and this time we decide to go for the raise. Gets 3-bet by the button. Obviously on natural A we don't see the stats until now. Like while we were playing, there's actually no stats, so we don't know how they play. But facing button 3-bet, pocket sixes, once we open, it's almost always a call. And we did go for a call. Flop is 7-5-4 ramp, two diamonds, and we do have an open-ended straight draw. On this board, it's always a check calling situation, so we check it to him, and he does c-bet like pretty big, like 2/3 the pot. However, we're never folding here because he can obviously have ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited, those kind of hand, king queen suited, and pocket six we're still ahead of those ranges. And if he had aces and kings or queens, we still have a pretty decent chance to win the pot with the open-ended straight draw, and then we can also hit our set because in his range he just doesn't have that many 8s and he doesn't have that many 3s. So if we hit our set, most likely we're good. And we decide to check call, and then the turn we get there, I think checking, like you can go either way. If you check, but on this card, most likely he's checking behind. He's almost checking behind with his entire range. Rather it's ace king, ace queen suited with a diamond, or he has pocket aces, pocket kings. I just feel like on this turn, he's almost always checking back. So I don't want that, right? So if he has like overcard like ace king, ace queen, ace jack of diamonds, I want him to I want to charge his flush draw. So on a card that most likely he's gonna check back, I don't want to give him a free card, because almost for sure if we check here, he's just gonna check back with his entire range. So we go for a bet of half pot, and expecting to actually fold a lot. If he called this bet, most likely he has aces or kings or flush draws. I don't even think flush draws should call this bet, but against an unknown player, you just don't know. He actually go for a raise, which is extremely interesting. He actually jam. Because he just doesn't have that many sixes, especially like we block sixes super hard. So we block 2 6s, so it's very unlikely he has a 6 here. So when he jammed, I'm thinking like overcard and flush draw. So it's an easy call. It's pretty much a snap call. Like we always had the best hand here. We go for the call, and then he has pocket tens, and then we're able to hold. Pocket tens doesn't even have a gotcha, so I don't know why he did this. He should just call and then maybe fold to the river or something. Um, but yeah, because he still beats flush draw on the turn, so he can obviously just call and then reevaluate on the river. But obviously he didn't want to do that. He probably thought we had like overcross and flush draw or something like that. But we will never lead the turn if that's the case. So kind of a bad play from him, but it worked out for us. Next one we have pocket 7 in the cutoff. Race facing a race mid position. Obviously we're playing with 3-betting. Just never like calling here. And then he called, and we flop a set, which is pretty nice. We only losing to pocket jacks, and then it's very unlikely he has pocket jacks, because I will assume that he'll probably 4-bet. He check it to us. We do a standard small c-bet because on this board he doesn't really connect that well. He can either have like king jack, ace jack, king jack suited, ace jack, or like pocket 9, pocket 10 type of hands. I just don't see that he has too many. He connects with this board that hard. So we went for the small sizing, and he check call, and then the turn is a king, which is pretty good for our range. Not necessarily good for his. Obviously he has some king jack, but that's about it. He check again, but the king of spade does bring out a backdoor flush draw and backdoor straight draw. So this is a card that we want to bomb pretty hard. So we went for a pretty big sizing, like almost like 75%, 80% the pot. He calls again. And on the river, it's a 4 of spades. So this is kind of like a tricky spot because 4 of spades completes 6-8. I'm just not sure if 6-8 will call the turn. So if we bet the turn small, 6-8 is definitely going to be in his range. But since we bet the turn pretty hard, the only 6-8 he can have is 6-8 of spade. And then he actually get there with a flush. Other than that, I do see a bunch of random hands, like ace jack and with the ace of spades. Maybe ace 7 with the ace of spades, but we block that super hard. Or maybe some kind of pocket pair. He decided to go for the jam here on the river. I actually took a while to think about this hand, like how we should do. Like I think I almost used out my entire time bank, but I just couldn't put him on a hand, right? So the only hand that makes sense is 6-8 of spade. Don't think offsuit 6-8 calls the turn. I feel like he has tons of king jack here, and then just thinking that we might call off with ace king. So I still ended up calling. Because I just don't see enough value combination that he can have. I just see more bluffs and then overplaying 2 pairs sometimes. And on a pot like this, we just have to be. So he bet 172 into 170, and then we only have like 160 something. So we actually just have to be right here about like 1/3 the time. So if we're right here, like 33, 35% of the time, it should be a call. Obviously, facing this jam, sometimes we're losing, but I think we're winning way more often than 30%, 33% of the time. So it's actually not that difficult of a decision. If we're a lot deeper, if we're like 300 back and then he shoved 300 on the river, it's probably a fold. But since he only shoved like pot size, we only have pot size bet left, so we just have to be right here like 35, 33% of the time. So we went for the call, and then he ended up showing us ace queen off. He does have the ace of spade as blocker, so I actually don't mind his play. But if I were him, I'd probably just check fold the flop. This is a little bit too sticky because he does have an offsuit ace queen on this flop. Like his hand's pretty worthless. Obviously, he pick up gotcha on the turn, and then he decided to just flow with us, and then just make a play on the river when 4 space hit, and then using a blocker to bluff. But it's a little bit ambitious. I just don't see this play as profitable. I mean, if he has like ace queen of spades on this flop, you can make case for check calling and then play the same way, and then he's gonna stack us, right? But other than that, with the offsuit ace queen, I just don't see that much equity in it, and then I don't see too much reason to be sticky on this board out of position against the original three better. So I wouldn't. I don't like his play that much. If he has like ace queen of spade, obviously it's gonna be a great play. I mean, it's gonna be a better play, and then yeah, and then he pick up extra equity on the turn. But with the offsuit ace queen, I just don't see a reason why do this against ourselves, like a pretty solid player, and we have position, and then we're the initiative, we have the initiative. So this is not gonna be like a profitable play in the long run. Next hand we have ace nine off in a small blind. Button open. We're never calling here. If we want to play this hand, obviously putting a three bet, which we did. And then he flat on the button, and then we flop pretty much nothing, but our entire range is still stronger. We have all the jacks plus. We can have like ace king, ace queen of spades, something like that. So obviously on this board, even though we missed, but our range still, this is a pretty good board for pocket aces and pocket kings, so it's really good for our range. So we start with a small c bet, and then he calls. On the turn, we turn a 9, and we decide to barrel because we do pick up a pair. And on this board, we beat tons of flush draws, and we don't know what he has. If he has a 10, I just feel like we can just barrel the turn, and then we can barrel him off on the river if it's a non-spade. So just decide to go for the second barrel. So once we barrel this turn, we're almost always going all in on the river, unless it's like a scary card like a 10 or a spade on the river, then we just give up, right? So we barrel the turn pretty big, and then he calls. And the river brings out a 7 of diamonds, which is a pretty good card for us because I don't think he's going to play like Jack 8 this way. And first of all, I don't think he calls pre-flop with Jack 8. If he had Jack 8 suited, I don't see him calling on the flop with Jack 8. Unless Jack 8 of spades specifically. But I just don't see it. Jack 8 of spades is like the only thing that can call this flop and call this turn. So we just stick to our plan and just jamming because I don't feel like he can call. Like he's pretty capped at like king 10, ace 10 type of hands. It'll be very difficult for him to call a jam. And obviously we have all the bluffs too. We can have like ace king suited, ace king of spades. We can have tons of queen jack of spades, king queen of spades, king jack of spades. So we have tons of bluffs as well. So sometimes we can get value. We just go for a jam, and then I just don't see him calling with like ace 10 or something. But he does call, and then surprisingly we do have a winning hand, and then he does have king 9 suited. So his thought process he probably put us on like ace king of spades, king queen of spades, king jack of spades. This type of hands that we pick up extra equity with the gut shot or open-ended on turn and decide to barrel, and then when we miss, we just go nuts with the river jam as a bluff, which we do sometimes. So this is the benefit of having this kind of image, because if people know that you are capable of making this type of moves, sometimes when you don't have the best of the hands, they will still pay you off like this. So this is a very interesting hand. I was pretty comfortable jamming the river. I just didn't expect him to call. I expect him to fold the river, which he should with the king 9, but he didn't. And then we made tons of money, which is pair 9, which is nice. Next hand, ace jack suited, raise under the gun. I think this hand is actually a mistake we made. So if ace jack suited, if we want to play, obviously we're putting 3 bet. Folding has absolutely no problem here. We get 4 bet from the small blind, and normally this is really, he has really strong ranges because of those positions. Like he opened under the gun with 3 bet cut off, and then he putting a 4 bet in small blind. This is normally like ace king, aces, kings, queens plus. But it's natural A, right? You don't know how people play, and then we decided to go for the call here with the ace jack suited in position, which is a huge mistake. And now I look back, I would probably like do this maybe like less than 10% of the time, or even less. Like like facing a 4-bet in those positions under the gun raise, and then we 3-bet cutoff, and then he 4-bet in the small blind. In this situation, I think we're folding around like 95% of the time, unless the player is extremely crazy, then we can peel the flop. But most of the time, just a fold. So this is actually, I wouldn't say mistake, but we don't call this too often. We decided to call. I think he might be like a weaker player or something. I don't remember. Obviously, pretty good flop. Ace King 9 with the two hearts, so we have top pair. Pretty decent kicker, and we do have the not flush draw. However, I don't think our kicker is that good against his ranges because he does have tons of ace king, ace queen. He does have some aces and kings. So we're not gonna go crazy with this flop, even though it seems like it's a pretty good flop for us, but it might be an even better flop for him. So gonna be careful. He bet $30 into an almost $90 pot, and then obviously we are calling, never raising here because raising makes absolutely no sense. If he has pocket queens, he's folding. If he has like ace king, aces and kings, obviously we're almost drawing, not drawing dead, but drawing to a flush draw only. So just gonna play in position. So we go for a flat. Turns the 5 of spades. He barreled 110. So we have a decision to make. Now I look back, I probably should have just fold here. Because he's never doing this with pocket queens. So he's doing this with pocket aces, pocket kings, or like ace king. And then we don't like the odds is not right for us to hit our flush here against this sizing. So now I look back, we probably should have fold the turn. But we didn't. So it's kind of like a misplay. First of all, we should have folded pre-flop. Very, very low frequency you can call every once in a while, playing 4-bet pot in position with ace-jack suited. But it should happen like less than 5% of the time, I think. And here, second mistake is on the turn when he barrel like this, we should just fold because he almost always has ace-king, aces and kings here. He would never do this with queens, and I don't think he would do this with ace queen because we could have ace king in our range. So now I look back, this is probably a fold. This is like pretty easy fold, I think, but obviously we went for it. I think it's because he is a weaker player. So at the same time, like when you play against a weaker player, you just kind of have to take more chances because you don't know what they're doing and you don't know what they're doing, and they don't even know what they're doing. So sometimes you just have to take your chance. I mean, worst case, we still have hearts to hit, right? So I guess we went for it, but we probably shouldn't. Sometimes playing against a weaker player, it just messed up your mind sometimes, and then you start making like mistakes that you normally don't make against a better regulars. And then we break out, and then he does show ace king, so we lost this pot. Next one, king jack suited. I think this is the last one. If I'm not, yeah, this is the last one. So king jack of spades folded to us. We open at cutoff. Gets 3-bet. And then obviously we're defending with king jack suited cutoff versus button 3-bet. Even we're out of position, but in those positions we almost always have to defend with, especially with king jack suited. Offsuit we can consider folding, but suited is definitely worth to see a flop. And we do flop a pretty good flop. Overcards and flush draw. We check it to him, planning to do a check raise. He does go for a small c-bet. Against a larger sizing, we can consider just calling. But against a small c-bet, I just feel like check raising is the best play because we do get some full equity if he has like ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited, those kind of hands, and it's just tons of full equity against those hands. And then if we can get like ace king, ace jack to fold, it's a huge win because we get dominated obviously. So we go for a check raise and hoping that he'll fold. Unfortunately, he doesn't fold, and then the turn is a 7. Now I look back, we should probably check this turn, almost like always. Obviously, we can be check raising with the 7 and then barrel here. I guess that was my thought process when I was playing the hand. I could obviously have like 7-8 suited here, 7-9 suited, 7-6 suited, a7 suited here. So I guess barreling the turn isn't too bad. But now I look back, it's probably better to check. But obviously we went to a bet on turn. So the reason why we're using a smaller sizing is because I want to have enough stack, so our SPR is a little better on the river when we jam. It puts more pressure on him on the river. So if we bet like $50 here, so if we bet $50 here and then he calls, pot would be like 195, like not like 192, 193, and then we'll only have like 110 behind. So when we have 110 behind and then pot is 192, it's just way more likely that we get called if we missed. So I want to bet a size where we still have a decent stack on the river to jam to put more extra pressure on him. By using 30, if he calls, pot will be like 150, and then we still have like 135 left. It's almost like 1 to